In the spotlight tonight, Michael Richards from Bolton, a retired teacher. His specialist subject is the life and times of Emma Hamilton. Shaun Wallace from Wembley, a barrister and lecturer. His subject, the history of the European Cup finals from 1970. Beth Maclure from London, a microbiologist, and her subject, the fiction of Michael Crichton. And Eddie Thornley from Rugby, a software developer, whose subject is the music of Elvis Costello. Hello, I'm John Humphreys, and welcome to Mastermind. You'll know the rules, I have no doubt. 2 minutes on a specialist subject chosen by the contender and 2 minutes on general knowledge. The clock is responsible for the pressure. The winner at the end of this contest goes through to the next round with the chance of the finals and the big prize, a glass bowl bearing the immortal title Mastermind. So, let's get on with our specialist round. May I have our first contender, please? And your name is?
Mike Richards.
Your occupation?
Retired teacher.
And your chosen subject?
The life and times of Emma Hamilton.
2 minutes on Emma Lady Hamilton, starting now. With what surname was Emma christened in 1765?
Lion.
Correct. Which artist painted several portraits of Emma, including Emma as Circe and the Spinstress?
Romney.
Correct. Contributing to her celebrity status, by which single word were the so-called tableaux vivants, which Emma performed, more commonly known?
Attitudes.
Correct. Emma moved to London around 1777 to work as a nursemaid in the Blackfriars home of which doctor?
Dr. Richard Budd.
Correct. After which victory in 1798 did Nelson report that Emma boarded his ship and appeared to faint in his arms, exclaiming, "Oh God, is it possible?"
Aboukir Bay.
Correct. At which mansion in Sussex did Emma live under the so-called protection of Sir Harry Featherstone?
Up Park.
Correct. Which court musician and composer did Emma meet and sing for on a visit with Nelson to Prince Esterhazy in September 1800?
Haydn.
Correct. What was the name of the quack doctor who employed Emma to entertain the clients at his so-called Temple of Health?
James Graham.
It was. As a young woman, Emma became the Honourable Charles Greville's mistress and was installed at a house near Paddington Green under what surname?
Hart.
It was. Emma left for Naples in March 1786 with her mother and which artist who accompanied them as far as Rome?
Charles Hamilton.
Gavin Hamilton. What was the name of the Queen of Naples, sister of Marie Antoinette, who became a confidant and close friend of Emma's?
Maria Caroline.
Yes. Running through the garden of Merton Place was a branch of which Thames tributary that the Hamiltons variously called the Canal, the Moat or the Nile?
The Wandle.
It was. The drawings faithfully copied from Nature at Naples, published in 1794, were the work of which German artist to document Emma's so-called attitudes?
Schmidt.
Rehberg. With what surname was Horatio, the daughter of Nelson and Emma, christened?
Thompson.
Correct. In 1813, Emma was twice forced to live within the confines of which prison on account of her debts?
King's Bench.
Correct. On whose biography of Nelson, published in 1806, did Emma collaborate?
James Harrison.
James Harrison is correct, and you had no passes. You scored a total of 14 points. And our second contender, please. And your name is?
Shaun Wallace.
And your occupation?
Barrister and part-time lecturer.
And your chosen subject?
The European Cup finals since 1970.
European Cup finals in 2 minutes, starting now. Which club beat Panathinaikos 2-0 to become the winners of the third European Cup final to be held at Wembley?
Ajax of Amsterdam.
Correct. In 1986, which club beat Barcelona 2-0 in a penalty shootout to become the first winners from Eastern Europe?
Steaua Bucharest.
Indeed. How many spot kicks in the penalty shootout in the 2001 final against Valencia were saved by Oliver Kahn of Bayern Munich?
3.
Yes. Liverpool's third goal against Borussia Mönchengladbach in 1977 was a penalty resulting from a foul by which German international on Kevin Keegan?
Bertie Vogts.
Yes. The 1994 final between AC Milan and Barcelona was refereed by which English official?
Philip Don.
Correct. Which England international was in the Real Madrid side that lost the 1981 final 1-0 to Liverpool in Paris?
Laurie Cunningham.
Yes, when UEFA introduced group stages for the first time, which two clubs reached the final?
Sampdoria and Barcelona.
Correct. In which stadium did John Robertson score the winning goal for Nottingham Forest against SV Hamburg in the 1980 final?
The Bernabeu Stadium in Madrid.
Yes, prior to the introduction of penalty shootouts, in which year was the Cup last won after a final replay?
1974.
It was when Mark Lawrenson limped off during the first few minutes of the 1985 final against Juventus. Which defender replaced him?
Gillespie.
Correct. In which year did two teams from the same country contest the final for the first time?
Year 2000.
It was. Who was the referee when Manchester United beat Bayern Munich 2-1 in Barcelona in 1999?
Pierluigi Collina.
Correct. Up to and including 2003, which club has competed in 7 finals since 1970, but has only won on 2 occasions?
Juventus.
Correct. Although a number of clubs have played finals in their own country, which is the only one since 1970 to have done so on its own home ground?
Roma.
Yes. Who was the coach of Benfica when they reached the 1990 final?
Ericsson.
It was. Who captained the Aston Villa side that beat Bayern Munich 1-0 in the 1982 final?
Dennis Mortimer.
Yes. A through ball from which teammate set up Kenny Dalglish to score... I've started the question, so I'll finish it. A through ball from which teammate set up Kenny Dalglish to score the winning goal against Bruges at Wembley in 1978?
And that was a brilliant Graham Souness.
It was indeed. Well, you had no passes and nothing wrong either. You scored 17 points. And our third contender now, please. And your name is?
Beth Maclure,
And your occupation?
microbiologist.
And your chosen subject?
The Fiction of Michael Crichton.
Michael Crichton, in 2 minutes, starting now. Which island off the coast of Costa Rica is home to John Hammond's theme park in Jurassic Park?
Isla Nublar.
Correct. In Andromeda Strain, the satellite Scoop 7 falls to Earth near a small town in which American state?
Arizona.
Correct. In Timeline, Professor Johnson's archaeology team have to travel back in time to which month and year to rescue him?
June 1432.
No, April 1357. How does Dr. Janet Ross dispatch Benson after his rampage through the hospital at the conclusion of Terminal Man?
She turns on a microwave.
She shoots him in the chest. In Rising Sun, a beautiful escort girl is found strangled on the 46th floor of the Los Angeles headquarters of which Japanese corporation?
Nakamoto.
Correct. During Harold Benson's hospitalization in Terminal Man, what is the name of the tranquilizing drug that the nurses failed to give him?
Thorazine.
Yes. In Sphere, when scientists open the door panel of the apparently alien spacecraft, what astounding discovery do they make?
Pass.
In Lost Worlds, Ian Malcolm travels to an island with his research team and 2 young stowaways. Kelly is one. What's the name of the other?
RB.
It was. Crichton wrote Eaters of the Dead as a bet that he could make an entertaining story based on which work of literature?
Beowulf.
Correct. What is the title of Crichton's novel of 2002 that deals with the emerging science of nanotechnology?
Prey.
Yes. In Airframe, what is the flight number of the ill-fated Trans-Pacific Airlines flight from Hong Kong to Denver?
545.
It was. In Disclosure, what is the screen name of the person who sends Tom Sanders anonymous email tips to help his case?
A friend.
Correct. What is the name of the cutting-edge technology company that Jack Foreman's wife Julia works at in Prey?
Pass.
In Congo, during the African expedition, Dr. Elliot has to use a tranquilizer dart on Amy, the sign language talking gorilla, because she is too afraid to do what?
Cross water.
Correct. In Jurassic Park, which dinosaurs are described as the most vicious creatures anyone has ever seen?
Velociraptors.
Correct. In Rising Sun, what is the name of the retired... I've started, so I shall finish. What is the name of the retired detective who's brought in to help Peter Smith because of his expertise in Japanese culture?
John Connolly.
John Connor. You passed on 2 questions. The name of that cutting-edge technology company was Zymos. And in Sphere, when they opened the door panel of that alien spacecraft, they discovered the controls inside were marked in English. Beth Maclure, you have 11 points. And our 4th contender, please. And your name is?
Eddie Thornley.
And your occupation?
Software developer.
And your chosen subject?
The music of Elvis Costello.
Elvis Costello, 2 minutes. For which song, co-written with T-Bone Burnett, was Elvis Costello nominated for an Oscar in 2004?
The Scarlet Tide.
Correct. In July 97, the Academy at St Martin's in the Fields, under the direction of Sir Neville Marriner, performed Costello's musical score for which children's fairy tale?
Hansel and Gretel.
Tom Thumb. What is the title of the opening track of Costello's 2003 album North?
You Turn to Me.
You Left Me in the Dark. Which was the first album to feature Costello's long-standing backing band, The Attractions?
This Year's Model.
Correct. On which song from the soundtrack of the film Grace of My Heart did Costello first collaborate with the American songwriter Burt Bacharach?
God Give Me Strength.
Correct. Which American singer covered the Costello songs Party Girl, Girls Talk and Talking in the Dark on her 1980 album Mad Love?
Linda Ronstadt.
Correct. Which pseudonym did Elvis Costello use in his guise as the narrator of his 1986 album Blood and Chocolate?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Correct. The original release of which Costello single had the catalogue number F Beat XX32?
Every Day I Write the Book.
Correct. Costello collaborated with Richard Harvey in composing the soundtrack for which 1991 Channel 4 drama series?
GBH.
Correct. On the album For the Stars, recorded with Anne-Sophie von Otter, which Tom Waits song is coupled with Paul McCartney's Junk?
Broken Bicycles.
Correct. The tribute album Bespoke Songs, Lost Dogs, Detours and Rendezvous, the songs of Elvis Costello, featured a cover of his song All Grown Up by which artist?
Tasmin Archer.
Correct. Who wrote the song A Good Year for the Roses, which Costello covered on his country and western-inspired album Almost Blue?
Jerry Chestnut.
Correct. Which song, co-written by Costello and Paul McCartney, contains the lyrics, "She could be in pictures if she wasn't all covered in fur"?
Mistress and Maid.
Pads, Paws and Claws. Who was the co-producer of Costello's 94 album Brutal Youth, which featured Nick Lowe on bass?
Kevin Killen.
Mitchell Froome. Costello and Bacharach jointly won a Grammy at the 41st Grammy Awards ceremony for which song?
I Still Have That Other Girl.
Correct. Who was the main bassist on Costello's 2002 album When I Was Cruel?
Davy Farraher.
Davy Farraher it was, and you had no passes. Eddie Thornley, you have 12 points. And that brings us to the end of our first high-scoring round on specialist subjects. So let's look at those scores. In fourth place on 11 is Beth Maclure. Third place, 12, Eddie Thornley. Second place, 14, Michael Richards. In the lead with 17 points, Shaun Wallace. So we move to round two now, our general knowledge round. And remember, if there is a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes will be taken into account and the contender with the fewest passes will be declared the winner. If there's still a tie on points, then there'll be a 5-question playoff. So let's get on with the general knowledge round and let me ask Beth Maclure to join us again, please. And you are a microbiologist. What is the big thing about microbiology? How is it going to change our lives?
I think the advent of DNA technology allows us to know what genes are in the bugs that are causing disease and therefore target the treatment towards them.
And now that we can unravel the DNA of various organisms, how close are we to ultimately knowing what causes all those horrible diseases out there? Will we ever know that?
I don't think so. I think it's a long way off. Maybe
But are we moving quickly?
Pretty quickly, yeah, I would say so.
You got 11 points with Michael Crichton. Let's see how you do with your 2 minutes of general knowledge. Starting now. In which 1993 film did Robin Williams play a divorced father who goes to work for his ex-wife disguised as an eccentric Scottish nanny?
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Correct. What term was coined by art critic Lawrence Alloway for art in which commonplace objects such as comic strips, soup cans and hamburgers were used as subject matter?
Pop art.
Correct. Built between 1887 and 1895, what's the name of the canal which links the North Sea with the Baltic?
Pass.
Parthenocissus is the botanical name for which self-clinging climbing plant grown for its brilliant autumn colouring?
Pass.
The suricate, a close relative of the mongoose and native to dry regions of southern Africa, is also known by what name?
Meerkat.
Correct. Which Irish Booker Prize-winning writer's first historical novel set during the 1916 uprising is entitled A Star Called Henry?
Seamus Heaney.
Roddy Doyle. Russian revolutionary Lev Bronstein escaped from Siberia in 1902 with a forged passport in what name, which he later took as his pseudonym?
Trotsky.
Correct. Which resort's chain pier, opened in 1823, was the first seaside pleasure pier in Britain?
Brighton.
Correct. Marshal Pétain set up his collaborationist government in which Spa town after the Franco-German armistice in 1940?
Pass.
The American athlete Mike Powell, with a distance of 8.95 metres, set a world record in 1991 in which athletics event?
Long jump.
Correct. What term is used for subnormal body temperature caused by cold or induced for purposes of heart or other surgery?
Hypothermia.
Correct. Which colour comes between blue and violet in the rainbow?
Indigo.
Correct. Which New Zealand-born soprano's album, Pure, topped the UK classical charts in 2003?
Hayley Weston-Ra.
Correct. In July 1999, a statue of which comedian was unveiled by the Queen in the seaside town? I'll finish the question. In the seaside town whose name he adopted?
Eric Morecambe.
Correct. You had 3 passes there. Marshal Pétain set up his collaborationist government in Vichy. Parthenocissus is Virginia creeper. And it was the Kiel Canal that links the North Sea with the Baltic. 3 passes, Beth Maclure, 21 points. And now, Eddie Thornley, if you join us again, please. And you got 12 points with your knowledge of Elvis Costello, who was actually Declan McManus.
Declan Patrick McManus.
Declan Patrick. And why did he go to Elvis Costello?
The record label he was with at the time, called Stiff, was big on gimmicks to try and sort of beat the major record labels, and it was a great wheeze to call someone Elvis because it would make you stand out. Declan maybe wouldn't. But of course, unfortunately, Elvis Presley died later that year and everybody thought it was quite sick.
Yeah. And he went on to do rather well, but not stunningly. I mean, he's not one of those people of whom you would say, my God, what a star.
No, and I think that's part of the appeal for me, that he's never been a big star. He's essentially a fan of music, like I am. And, you know, he has introduced me through his various albums and projects to a lot of different kinds of music, from country to opera to chamber music to jazz.
Really, opera?
Yeah, he's involved in writing an opera at the moment, and recently completed, I think a couple of years ago, a ballet to Midsummer Night's Dream.
Well, he's done you proud tonight because you had 12 points in your specialist round. You've now got your general knowledge round, and 2 minutes on that starting now. Whose book on punctuation, Eat, Shoots and Leaves, was a surprise bestseller in December 2003?
Lynn Truss.
Correct. Which city has famous statues of David by Donatello, Verrocchio and Michelangelo?
Florence.
Correct. Which planet was discovered by Johann Gottfried Galler and his assistant Heinrich Louis d'Arrest in 1846?
Uranus.
Neptune. Which French poet, who lived from 1854 to 1891, renounced poetry around the age of 20, eventually becoming an arms trafficker in Abyssinia?
Baudelaire.
Rimbaud. According to Geoffrey of Monmouth, which magician was advisor to Uther Pendragon, the father of King Arthur?
Pass.
Which teacher and organist who lived from 1859 to 1924 is best remembered as a collector of almost forgotten English folk songs and dances?
Thomas Smith.
Cecil Sharp. Which actor won a Best Director Oscar for the 1980 film Ordinary People, his directorial debut?
Robert Redford.
Correct. Which future British Prime Minister gave his name to a black Homburg hat in the 1930s?
Churchill.
Anthony Eden. From which language does the word yoghurt come?
Hindi.
Turkish. Which writer of children's books spent much time during the 1890s drawing and studying fungi and lichens?
Pass.
The Nene, the official state bird of Hawaii, is a member of which family of birds?
Parrot.
Goose. Which 1956 film starring Grace Kelly was a musical remake of the Philadelphia Story?
Pass.
Which reggae artist first entered the UK charts in 1975 with No Woman, No Cry?
Bob Marley.
Correct. Which Dutch artist painted the anatomy lesson of Dr. Tulp in 1632?
Holbein.
Rembrandt. Which US city, the home of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, is served by the Will Rogers World Airport?
Houston.
Oklahoma City. In which Lakeland village is Dove Cottage, where the poet William Wordsworth lived for many years?
Grasmere.
Correct. My mum used to be my dad. I'll finish this question. My mum used to be my dad, I was jilted by a lesbian dwarf are the opening lines of an opera by Richard Thomas and Stuart Lee about which television chat show host?
Jerry Springer.
It was indeed. Who else could it be? You had 3 passes there, Eddie Thornley. The 1956 film starring Grace Kelly was High Society. The writer of children's books was Beatrix Potter. And the advisor to Uther Pendragon was Merlin.
Of course.
3 passes, 12 points before you now have a total of 18 points. And now Michael Richards, if he would join us, please. And you scored a rattling 14 points with Emma Hamilton. She was a great professional mistress, courtesan, whatever you'd want to call her. Why? What was the appeal?
Well, in those days, it wasn't looked on as being a prostitute. It was you were a lady of fortune. You tried to meet to better yourself. You tried to meet some rich gentleman, and unfortunately, she met a string of gentlemen who let her down. But she was, from a very early age, she had to be streetwise. She was poorly educated, but reading her letters, she's got a lovely command of language for somebody who was ill-educated.
You scored 14 points with Emma Hamilton. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge round. 2 minutes starting now. Which media tycoon married his 3rd wife, the television executive Wendy Deng, in June 1999?
Mr. Murdoch.
Correct. Alf Layla wa Layla is the best known of all Arab literary works. How's it known in English?
Quran.
The 1001 Nights. The Heckle phone and the cor anglais both belong to which family of woodwind instruments?
Horns.
The oboe. In Hindu mythology, the god Ganesha has the head of which animal?
An elephant.
Correct. David Hockney's 1961 painting We Two Boys Together Clinging takes its title from a work by which 19th century American poet?
Whitman.
Yes. Which of London's bridges was opened on the 18th of June 1817, exactly 2 years after the event it commemorates took place?
Waterloo Bridge.
Correct. What name is given to the hangover cure consisting of 1 unbeaten egg, Worcestershire sauce, a squeeze of lemon and a pinch of salt?
Prairie Oyster.
It is. In football, which Scottish club, then managed by Alex Ferguson, beat Real Madrid 2-1 in the European Cup Winners' Cup final in 1983?
Aberdeen.
It was. The score for which Lloyd Webber musical includes the songs The Invitation to the Jellicle Ball and The Journey to the Heaviside Layer?
Pass.
From the effect it has on its victims, what is the popular name given to xylyl bromide and other irritant compounds such as CS gas?
Pass.
What was the nickname of the French King Louis Philippe, who based his rule on the support of the bourgeoisie and who abdicated in 1848?
The Citizen King.
Correct. In mathematics, what term is used for the exact number of times one number will go into another in a division sum?
Pass.
The city of Banjul, formerly known as Bathurst, is the capital of which African country?
Guyana.
The Gambia. Which substance is produced in the process of mellification?
Honey.
Correct. And the clock has beaten you to the next question. You passed on 3 of those in mathematics, the term used for the exact number of times one number will go into another. Quotient. The popular name given to xylyl bromide and other irritants, tear gas. And the score for that Lloyd Webber musical, Cats. Michael Richards, you now have 22 points. And now Shaun Wallace, if he would please, our final contender. And with a cracking good score, 17 points. You're a serious football fan. You're training to be a coach?
Yeah, well, I hope to actually get my U4B coaching qualification this year.
And that means you'd be able to...
Well, I could actually coach at professional clubs, but I'd like to actually work with, youth footballers because, I mean, they start and they are the actual future in terms of the game.
So, what, England in 15 years' time or something?
Well, I mean
Manchester United?
Yeah, it would be lovely if I could.
Well, really? So you'd rather do that than be a barrister?
I'd like to combine the two, actually. I mean, I do combine the two. I mean, I love my profession. I always have done. I mean, I've been a lawyer for quite a long time, but you know, I'm one of those lawyers who have other interests rather than, you know, sort of being just a lawyer.
Well, you scored 17 points, as I say. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge round. 2 minutes, starting now. Which Republican senator led a notorious anti-communist witch hunt in the early 50s in the USA?
Senator Joseph McCarthy.
Correct. With a name meaning ancient life, what is the first of the 3 eras of geological time?
Paleozoic.
Correct. Which present-day country is known as the cockpit of Europe because so many battles have been fought on its territory?
That's Belgium.
Yes. Which French instrumentalist famous for his laser concerts was married to the actress Charlotte Rampling?
Jean-Michel Jarre.
Correct. In Greek mythology, the 100 eyes of which slain giant were set into the peacock's tail by the goddess Hera?
The Argos.
Correct. The small tree-dwelling primate, the lesser galago, characterised by large ears and eyes and soft woolly fur, is better known by what name?
The proboscis monkey.
No, the bush baby. Which famous hymn did the Reverend Sabine Baring-Gould originally write for a children's Whitsuntide procession at Horbury Bridge in West Yorkshire?
Pass.
Which European capital city hosted the Summer Olympic Games in 1908 and 1948?
That's London.
Correct. Which 2003 documentary by Jeff Blitz followed the lives of 8 American boys and girls as they tried to win the 1999 National Spelling Bee?
Pass.
Which title character of a Shakespeare play had been a student at Wittenberg in East Germany?
Hamlet.
Correct. What name of Middle English origin is popularly given to inedible or poisonous fungi as distinct from edible mushrooms?
Deathcap.
Toadstool. What is the name of the oil tanker which ran aground off Alaska in March 1989, causing immense environmental damage?
The Amoco Cadiz.
No, the Exxon Valdez, whose 1884 painting Bathers at Asnières introduced the technique of pointillism, whereby the paint is applied as a series of dots.
Surratt.
Correct. Which great advance in the treatment of heart disease was first implanted in Arne Larsson in 1958 by the Swedish doctor Arka Senning?
The pacemaker.
Correct. Which Russian composer wrote the musical score for the Eisenstein film Ivan the Terrible?
Prokofiev.
Prokofiev is correct. You had 2 passes. The 2003 documentary that followed those American spellers was called Spellbound. And that famous Baring-Gould hymn was Onward Christian Soldiers.
Yeah.
However, you did well enough. Shaun Wallace, 27 points.
Thank you.
So, at the end of the general knowledge round, at the end of the contest, let's look at the scores. In 4th place, with 18 points, Eddie Thornley. In 3rd place, with 21 points, Beth Maclure. In 2nd place, with 22 points, Michael Richards. In 1st place, with a remarkable 27 points, Shaun Wallace. So that means that Shaun Wallace goes through to the next round and moves a step closer to becoming our Mastermind champion. Congratulations to him. And please join us next time for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Coming up tonight, we salute an icon of our flying past, the great Sea King helicopter, at 9. Next this afternoon, the fine art of steel making, as demonstrated by Britain's heritage heroes.